lot of us are waiting for the next big Souls game, which is Elden Ring Nightreign. It's coming out very soon, and I just know it's going to consume my life for a couple of weeks, and I don't mind. I mean, matter of fact, I remember last year when Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree came out, I believe I took 2 weeks off just to play that game. So yeah, it's gonna happen. But everyone who's excited for this game, especially hardcore Souls fans out there, definitely are gonna have to anticipate a few, I would say, creative changes made to this. I mean, first of all, the fact that this is gonna be a purely cooperative roguelite game where you or two other players basically jump into the map, and you guys have to you have 3-day cycles to basically beat the bosses, collect gear, level up, and then get to the final boss by the 3rd day. All of this is going to be a lot for just the Souls fan out there, because it definitely doesn't feel like a pure Souls experience. But I think still at its core, the DNA is still there. You know, the boss fights, the rush, and of course the cooperative play, which seems to be a lot more seamless this time around. A lot more emphasis on that, where it always feels like it's in the other games, there's always just an extra layer if you want it, but you have to do the steps to get it. And now it seems that the biggest change that's going to be coming to this game is the storytelling. Yes, there's a new approach for this, and if you're a Souls fan, you know that the way they've always told their stories in those games are cryptic and vague and subtle and ambiguous, and it's intentional. It's never direct. You kind of have to make your own speculation based on your own personal observations as well. But they're bringing in something called Remembrance, and seems to be an interesting take for a game that never really wants to tell you what's really going on. So let's look into the gist of what this is. Basically, Nightreign will still take place in the Elden Ring universe, but it's set in an alternate timeline where a mysterious disaster called the Night Lord has basically messed everything up. And it's not like some sort of evil villain or some evil plot. It's just more like a natural disaster. A dark force just happened. And so your job is to step in the boots of one of the 8 characters called the Nightfarers. And basically, what makes this unique is how the game reveals the backstories of those characters through Remembrance. And these are simply journal entries that you can read between matches at the Round Table Hold, which is going to be the hub area. But others are fully playable flashbacks. You get dropped into dreamlike scenes from characters' history, complete with hazy borders and all of that. In these flashbacks, you talk to NPCs and get personal objectives that tie directly into your gameplay. So for example, if you're playing as Iron Eye, the Ranger class, you might have to hunt down a mini-boss in a live match to get an item that progresses your memory. There's others like Wilder, the more well-rounded class, might be sent on a scavenger-style mission to basically fight off dangerous spots on the map. And Raider, I would say this is the heavy melee class, has to do gladiator-style 1v1 battles with bosses straight out of the arena match. And each of these have their own objectives. If you complete them, you can kind of unlock these remembrances, which gives more lore and story behind the character you're playing. And so every class is going to have a different flavor of storytelling, and it feels like you're slowly unlocking these characters and who they really are, not through exposition, but through actions and choices. And it's a very different style for FromSoft, but still full of that mystery and the challenge to acquire, the story, the mystery behind every character. And I think it's a great replay value as well, especially if you feel like you've played and kind of finished through one class, you might be curious about another class and their story, and so you play them and unlock their remembrances all throughout. And even though it's a little bit even though they've not shown too much of it so far, I think that's great because it leaves a lot of a lot for us to explore when we play the game, and see our perhaps where our favorite classes or where our favorite characters come from, who they are, what is their relation. And yeah, it's I think it's a great step in the right direction for FromSoftware. But there's always going to be the hardcore people out there that say, no, I want things to still stay vague and subtle and mysterious. But I think as Elden Ring has become the game that reached out to a broader audience, I think FromSoftware realized that perhaps we should be a little bit more, direct with our story in some way. Now, I think so they'll definitely strike a balance. We'll see how that goes. But the one thing that I need to know when I play this game, how does this game connect to the world of Dark Souls? This is going to be because like through the trailers and everything that was revealed, we've seen all sorts of Dark Souls, esque bosses and Dark Souls characters and their armors. I mean, there's just so much correlation. The fact that especially the Firekeeper was shown in the cutscene and she was from Dark Souls 3. Again, we need to know the connection. What is it about the world of Dark Souls that is connecting itself to the world of the Elden Ring? We'll have to see. I mean, there's perhaps a reason why from the very beginning, the world of Elden Ring was called the Lands Between. Between what exactly? Well, let's find out hopefully in Elden Ring Nightreign. I'm definitely going to be stoked for this. What class are you going to be playing and as in the game? For me, it's either going to be Iron Eye or the Executor. I think is the Executor or the Executor, because he definitely feels like very akin to Sekiro in terms of his playstyle, and I love Sekiro. So if I can get more of that gameplay in Elden Ring, I'll definitely do it. Do let me know what's going to be your favorite class. I think most common class people are going to pick is Raider or Welder, but we'll see. We'll see. Super excited. I know this game is going to consume my life when it comes out, and I absolutely don't mind. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with more news and highlights from the world of entertainment right here on the Evening Buzz.